Okay, I'm going to show you how to add web mapping services into ArcPro. This is a great way to plug into our web mapping libraries without having to need any on-premise connection properties to SD or something like that. And it's easily done and allows you to do some great mapping just in Pro from anywhere with just a web connection. So to add a WMS connection for the first time, if you go onto the Insert ribbon at the top of Pro here, and click on your Connections property drop-down. This allows you to connect to lots of different types of data. We're going to look at ArcGIS server connections, so this is something you only have to do one time if you haven't already. I'm going to point you to GeoShare on our public hosted GeoShare. You can find access to this on our Slack channel, but I'm just going to go in and show you the pointer to our REST service endpoint for our apps server, which is our production server. So I'm going to copy this URL, and in Pro, back with our connection properties, I'm going to paste it in. I don't need to authenticate because of course this is all publicly available. So I'm just going to hit OK, and what it's going to do is go out and try and connect through to that property, to that URL, to add a connection to that server. On the right hand side in Pro, you can see there's a bunch of different folders within the project tab. And once this is successfully completed and gone through, you'll see a sixth one, I should say, that shows servers. And I should mention that you can have any number of different connections to this particular type of service. And it doesn't strictly have to be ours. You can go out and harvest from other web mapping libraries that are available online through search, through the federal government and other local governments and whatnot. So what this does is it goes out, it makes a connection to that particular instance. Here you can see the URL, and as you expand upon it, you can see some groupings. If I bring back the browser again and show you the REST service endpoint, you'll see these subfolders correspond with the subfolders on the root of the service here. In Pro, I can expand those, and now you can see in this case, the ISO themes. You can right-click, add to new, map. What it'll do, if you don't have a map already opened, it'll open one up for you. It'll bring in the entire map service, ISO theme map service you selected, and overlay it here with a standard Esri topo base map. In the catalog here, the map contents catalog on the left-hand side, you can see the different groupings and map to your heart's content. However, you may want to drill a little bit deeper into the content of an entire map service. In this case, let's say I want to go in and find just the administrative boundaries for the GNWT. I can go and navigate to that level and add that exactly, that particular service as well. And now I can look at attribute information. I can bring up all sorts of relative information about that content. I can even query it. I can sometimes make symbology changes on it. It sort of depends on the rules and setup on this on the web mapping service end. But nevertheless, now I have a server connection here. One thing that's worthy of noting, if you want to add this as a favorite, you just right-click on it, add to favorites, and it'll actually then add it into your favorites. This is useful because this will be persistent in future sessions. When you come back into Pro, it'll always be there for you on that machine. Adding a server connection as we did here is good if you save this project and reference it again. But if you close it and open Pro a whole new, that connection will not persist unless you add it as a favorite. So I highly recommend that right-click and add to favorites. Once it's there for good. You can open new Pro sessions and it'll be there. So that's a quick how-to. Connect and plug into our web mapping services. As I say, you can plug into any number. It doesn't have to be GNWT content specific, but have a go, map away, and happy mapping.